Now, if you've ever asked yourself, are you cut out for video, then stay tuned for this Facebook Live where I give you the 6 things you need to ask yourself before you press that record button. Now, if we've never met, my name is Stephen Coney of Stephen Knows Marketing, and I help insurance agents find customers online using video. So if you're looking to grow your online presence or online influence, if you're looking to find customers using YouTube or Facebook, or if you're just curious on how and where to get started using video online, then feel free to like and follow my page and tune into my free content. Now, happy Labor Day, everybody, and today the topic of discussion is going to be video. Now, you're probably thinking, videos is something I need to look into? Is it something I need to invest time in? And also, too, there's 6 things that you need to consider and 6 things you need to think about or ask yourself before you press the record button. Now, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how comfortable are you with making your thoughts or your your opinions public to people online. Sorry. Now this is a big thing because not only when you put yourself out there, not only are you potentially going to be judged on these insecurities that you may have, but you also could be judged on the opinions that you may have or the thoughts that you may have. The vast majority might not agree with your opinions, might not agree with your thoughts, and that can be scary. People might disagree with you. People might think that your tips are not helpful. People might criticize you or leave negative comments. But at the same time, the only way to avoid criticism is to say nothing at all. And that doesn't help anyone. So you have a unique perspective. You have a very unique point of view on on the topic at hand, or on a very unique perspective on your industry that the world needs to see or hear. So, and remember too that every critic that you have, there is several people that are thankful and that are appreciative that you shared your insight. Now, that leads to the second thing that you need to think about is, how do you handle criticism? Now, there is several different forms of criticism. There's people that could leave negative comments. There's people that could dislike your video if we're talking about YouTube, or there's people that might not like your video or might not even view your video. And to be honest, when you first start making video, you're gonna have little to no viewers, and that's just the order of things. And depending on how well you can handle that will determine how long you'll continue to make videos. It's a process. It takes time. It takes time to build an audience. And if you're looking for that instant gratification, like if you're looking for the first video that you put out to have 1,000 views, then you might be disappointed when you start doing video. It takes time to get to know what works and what doesn't. It takes time to have viewers watch you on a consistent basis. It takes time to build that audience. So just remember to take criticism with a grain of salt. I'm not gonna say in order to make video you have to have thick skin. That would be unfair for me to say, but what I will say is that whenever you make video, you have to learn and be cognizant that you cannot have your feelings or your emotions dictate how you carry on with doing videos for your business. Now, the third thing that you have to ask yourself is, what is your strategy? What is your goal? Are you going for the long term, or are you going for the short term? And also, too, do you have the patience to see it through? So I say this because creating videos based on a long-term or short-term strategy requires 2 completely different videos. So a short-term strategy will require you making a sales video, which is completely different from a long-term strategy, which would make you create content-based videos. Tips on how to solve whatever problems that your customers or your audience may have. And they also, too, both require different types of commitment, different types of dedication. There's a lot more dedication, and there's a lot more commitment that's required for long-term strategy because you're creating more videos. You could be creating 1, 2, 3 videos a week. So that requires a lot of dedication. With a sales video, you could run the same sales video over and over again, but at the same time, it doesn't have the same benefits as a long-term strategy. Because a long-term strategy allows you to build the connection, build the audience, and build the engagement with your viewers, which could lead to a lot more sales in the future. Also, too, what you have to consider is that if you're using a long-term strategy and a short-term strategy, or a short-term strategy, these attract different types of customers and different types of audiences. And the two different types of audiences require different types of attention. They get different types of engagement. So you have to be condescending. You have to be ready to be able to bring to the table what is needed, depending on the strategy that you have on the table, or the strategy that you decide to use. Now, the fourth thing that you want to ask yourself is, are you willing to learn? So this covers a large basis, because not only when you're making videos do you have to learn how to make videos, you have to learn how to edit, you have to learn what kind of equipment that you need to use, you have to learn how to edit, you have to learn how to make thumbnails, you have to learn how to create compelling titles, how to post, when to post. There's a lot of things that you have to learn with making video. But on top of that, you have to also learn more and more about your industry. Now, believe me, I know how much of an expert all of you are in your industry. But if you decide to post or create videos on a consistent basis based on the knowledge that you have now, then you may run out of topics and ideas to create content based on. So you want to constantly learn more and more about the industry and more about solutions that could fix your audience's problems, because this will keep the content new and fresh, and also keep the viewers engaged for all of the content that you have available to them. And we're going to go to the fifth thing that you need to ask yourself is, are you committed to posting at least once a week? Now, like I said before, there's a lot of learning that takes place when making videos. And especially if you're new, it's going to require a lot of time in order to not just learn how to edit, but to get good at editing videos, and to get good at making thumbnails, and get good at making titles. And these all require time. So you have to schedule time around your everyday life in order to get these videos out to the public. So can you make 2-3 hours a day, designate 2 or 3 hours a day to creating video, to create ideas for video, to create the script? Can you designate that time in order to get these things done? And also too, can you designate a day where you will post these videos, a deadline? Because you have to be consistent. Putting out one video a month is not going to cut it, especially in the eyes of your viewers, because your viewer wants to see that you are constantly giving them ideas, giving them tips that can help them fix their problems. They want to see you as an active member on Facebook or YouTube. Like, think about it. Whenever you look at a YouTube channel or a Facebook page, if they're not consistently posting, if they're not consistently bringing value and bringing content, you don't see them as being relevant. So you have to continue to make that time available to create that content for your customers. Now, and the last thing would be, you got to think about, are you willing to get involved and stay involved with your customers? Because making video is not a one-way form of communication. You're making these videos to create the two-way dialogue, to create the conversations. You want to ask the questions, you want to answer the questions, and you also too want to answer every single comment, because these are the building blocks for creating the audience, for creating the engagement, for creating the relationship with your audience. And you have to be active. You have to be an active member on here, and you have to always be attentive to your customers, to your viewers, if you want to grow your presence online using video. And that concludes my six things that you have to ask yourself before pressing that record button. And to recap, sorry. To recap the 6 things, it would be: the first thing is, are you comfortable with sharing your thoughts with the public? Is it are you okay with being judged by your opinion or what you have to say? The second thing would be, how do you handle criticism? Someone doesn't like your video, or someone doesn't watch your video. How do you handle that? If someone doesn't watch your video, are you gonna quit? Are you gonna stop recording? Are you gonna stop putting content out there? Because people are actually believe it or not, people are actually looking for you and looking for the help that you have to give. The third thing is, what type of strategy you have. Do you have a short-term strategy, or do you have a long-term strategy? Meaning, are you creating sales videos, which are completely different than a long-term strategy, which is content videos? And also, too, do you have the patience to see it through? Because long-term videos do take time. They do take dedication. They do take a lot of work. But the outcome of them is so much better, because you build that relationship and you build that connection with your audience. And the fourth thing is, are you willing to learn? Because if you're going to create content based on the information that you have now, you're going to run out of content to share. So you have to keep it new, you have to keep it fresh, and you have to continue to bring value to your viewers. And the fifth thing is, are you committed to creating a video once a week? Because this takes a lot of time, so you're going to have to schedule time during your day to make these videos, to post these videos. It takes a lot of time, but the time that's invested in making these videos is so worth it, that it's worth designating that time to create these videos and put them online. And the last thing is, are you willing to get involved with your viewers? Because remember, these aren't just making videos that encourage a one-way conversation. You are encouraging two-way dialogue. You're encouraging engagement. You're encouraging the conversations to be started, not only with you, but with between your audiences, because that's how you build an audience. That's how you build a following. That's how you build a community. And so my question of the day is, what do you find the most difficult for getting your first video started and getting your first video online? I'm so curious to know, and I would love to hear what you guys have to share and what you guys think. Feel free to share it in the comments below. And I would love to know what challenges you guys are facing and any ways that I can help with those challenges. Until I see you next time, take care.